I was vacuuming earlier and the vacuum cut out a few times. First I thought it was the plug was not secure in the receptacle, but then I noticed a spark up by the handle. So I quickly determined that there was a short in the cord. We're going to show you how to repair that. That's up next here on Bud's Odd Jobs. The vacuum we're repairing today is an Oreck XL. It's a Type 5. It's a model U7000ECRP-DC. To be exact, it's an XL Platinum HEPA vacuum, which is made by Oreck. Okay, so I have the vacuum out in the repair shop. A couple things that I want to note before we begin the repair is that I would consider this probably a level 4 job, something that any homeowner can easily do. The only reason I rate it a level 4 is because it involves a little bit of electrical knowledge, but it's not something that you can't easily acquire. I just need to take some safety precautions, as always with electrical. The other thing that I'll note is anytime you work on disassembling anything, and this goes for whether it's an engine or whether it's something simple like this vacuum, you want to basically note how the thing comes apart, obviously, so that you can put it back together. The easiest way I've found to do that in the past is by taking pictures of either the steps or how something looks when you take it apart. So let's go ahead. To get started, one thing you want to note right off is the position of the switch. So if you take pictures of all this, it helps. You also note this has a device that turns here. The purpose for this device is so that you can retain the cord, and then when you're ready to vacuum, you simply turn it this way and the cord comes off easy, so that you don't have to fight with it. And I'm doing this basically while holding the camera and doing it with one hand. So the problem that I had found with the vacuum is down here where the cord enters, where it turns, gets twisted and turned a lot. The insulation was broken on that cord. Now it's repaired at this point, but I'll take you back and show you what I needed to do to repair it. Now anytime you're working on anything electrical, you want to make sure you take the necessary precautions so that you ensure that you don't have any electricity running through this cord before you attempt any repairs on it. One of the best ways to ensure that this doesn't get accidentally plugged in by someone in the area is simply take the cord, loop it like this, and then put it in your belt loop. That way it's on your person, and you know for sure that no one's going to take that and accidentally plug that in while you're working on it. Okay, the things you're going to need for this repair, first of all, is a screwdriver. For this repair I'm going to use my DeWalt driver. You also need a nice pair of wire strippers. I really like these Greenlee. It's model number 1955A. They work real well to do any kind of electrical repair. Then you're going to also need some wire nuts. These come in various sizes. We're going to use this size here for this repair. So that's pretty much it. And then, like I stated, you'll want to make sure that when you disassemble that you take note of the wiring position. And we'll show you that here in the next step. Okay, you notice that all these screws are uniform. If there were different size screws and different holes, you would want to note which screws go into which exact hole. Alright, with the screws out, we'll go ahead and disassemble this. So it basically comes in two parts. Okay, so at this point, this is where it's important to get out your camera and take a still of what we have here. You'll notice that this is where the wire was broken. As I stated, I repaired it now, but it was broken right here. So with this wire broken, I can pretty much leave everything intact and get at the problem area. Now, this is the wire nut that I used. It's this size here, smaller, one of the smaller ones, to do this repair. Now, when I pulled this apart originally, this wire nut was on the white one. It was already connected, but this black wire was continuous to this pole. Now, I didn't want to necessarily have to try to reattach this. So what I did was that I simply cut the original wire and then cut a new piece of cord. I'd had to go back where the break was. The break was right in this area here. So I cut the cord back here, then I stripped a length. As you can see, it's not too much, just about an inch, and then stripped my wires, and then I just reattached the common lead, and also this black would be the hot lead. So I just respliced them together using the wire nut. Noting the position of the switch, I just put the switch back in place like so, and then it's just a matter of running your wires back in the position that they were. And in this case, it just goes down through and then out the bottom here. You just want to follow that track to make sure that the wires are securely in place, and then move these wire nuts down out of the way, and you're basically ready to reassemble. Now, originally when I pulled this apart, this piece fell out. It just comes out. You want to just make sure that it goes back in the same way that it came out. And you have to work with it a little bit to get it in position, but once you get it in position, make sure it rotates properly like it's supposed to. And with confirmation of that, then you're ready to put it back together. So just to give you a demonstration of how well these Greenlee wire strippers work, here I'm working with some number 10 wire, and I typically use a knife to score that down. So these work really nice in cutting off that excess. And then when you have to strip a number 10 wire, you simply look on here for the number 10 or 12. So just score it a few times around and pull, and it's off. The other thing nice about these, if you lock those in place, you know, when you have to curl the end of the wire so that you can curl it around the screw on a receptacle, they have these holes built in here, and you can just use that to make a really nice curve. And also on the end of these, they have plier grips, so if you're not really sure that you want it like that, you can always use it to bend a nice loop so that you can easily put this on your receptacle. So again, pick the right size, score, and it strips real easy with that. And then you can take that, just bend the tip around, and you're ready to go ahead and mount that on a receptacle. Same thing with the ground. Take that, curl it around, and now this is ready to hook up. So now let's show you on the cord that I'm working on how easy it is to strip. I'm going to take a piece of old wire, and basically what I do is use the cutter end of the Greenlee pliers to score the outside insulation. You just want to do this lightly, just enough to cut through the exterior insulation, but not so much that you're going to cut through the internal wires. And then if you just bend this, you can break the insulation loose and then basically twist it off to expose the under wires. And you just want to check your wires, make sure that you did not cut any of the insulation on the wires themselves. And once you've done that, you simply want to take your cutters, your strippers, circle around a few times, and then you can just pull the excess insulation off. Same thing with the neutral wire. Circle a few times, pull that off, and then actually you wouldn't connect these two leads on the same wire, but just for demonstration purposes, what I usually do is I twist the ends individually like so, and then I twist them as a pair. And what you want to do is cut excess off. The reason we do that, when you put your wire nut on, you want it to come down, the skirt of the nut to come down well over the exposed wire, so you don't have any exposed wire sticking out. Then you simply twist this on. When you do so, this should become very tight so that you can't hardly even turn it. So when you get it on there nice and tight, the bottom ends should be twisted together. And then finish by wrapping this all with some electrical tape. That makes sure that nothing's exposed, that you don't then get another short because you have exposed wires. Okay? Now let's show you how to continue the finishing the repair on the Oreck vacuum. Okay, so let's go ahead and reassemble this. This has two extensions that go through the bar, so we're going to put that piece on first, like so. And then it's just a matter of taking the second part and fitting those together. And you want to watch the switch at this point, making sure that that's seated properly. And you might have to work with this a little bit to get it in the exact position you need. Looks like we're good there. I'm going to start with one screw up the top and one at the bottom. We'll get those secured. Okay, now that we have our screws in, we want to check, make sure everything looks good, which it does. This part turns as it should. So now the test is to plug it in and see how it performs. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn it on and see what she does. There you have it, relatively easy repair. Any average homeowner with some basic knowledge and basic tools can tackle. It's a time-saving tip that'll save you quite a bit of money. If you have to take this to a vacuum repair shop to get it repaired, you're probably talking $50 minimum. So hopefully this can help you out. My basic philosophy on this channel, as I stated earlier, is basically to take the challenges as they come up as a homeowner, grab my camera as I fix it so that the content might be helpful to others who have similar challenges. So if you find that kind of content useful, make sure you hit that subscribe button and make sure you tell your friends. Hey, thanks for watching. See you next time.